Om Shri Sai Ram. Dear sisters, my loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and to all of you. Today's topic is on selfless service as a road to self-realization. This topic has been talked about in many, many ways, especially by Swami himself, as it is at the core of our spiritual transformation, our understanding of our purpose on earth, and awareness of the fact that we, number one, are all one. Number two, since we are all part of the universal consciousness, we are therefore one with God. And number three, we are all striving to reach this realization that we are indeed one with the universal consciousness. This is what we call our road to self-realization. Seva, or selfless service, is a means to that realization. Let's begin with Swami's words. In his discourse of December 23rd, 1971, Swami says, I consider Seva, selfless service, as the most important activity of the Samitis, centers, or service groups, for it is the highest sadhana. Reading this over and over again, I ask myself the question, am I there in that mindset, in that heart space? Is this my chosen path? If so, am I making progress? I try to remember the first time I heard about Seva in the center and how I felt compared to how I feel now. First of all, Seva was a foreign word to me, so I did not exactly feel the meaning in my heart. Yes, it was translated into service, but not always into selfless service. So in the beginning, it was more of a duty of a center member rather than a duty of the one human to another, one sister or brother to another. I'm guessing that at least some of you have similar experiences, and some of you may have already reached a higher state of wisdom and understanding before you came to Swami. Swami said in his discourse of May 19th, 1969, Seva, selfless service, in all its forms, all over the world, is primarily a spiritual discipline for mental cleanup. Without the inspiration given by that attitude, the urge is bound to ebb and grow dry, or it may meander into pride and pomp. Just think for a moment. Are you serving God, or is God serving you? When a pilgrim stands waist deep in the Ganga, takes in his palms the water, and reciting an invocatory formula pours the water as an offering to the deity, what has he done is only poured Ganga into Ganga. When you offer milk to a hungry child, or a blanket to a shivering brother or sister on the pavement, you are but placing a gift of God into the hands of another gift of God. In order for me to get a glimpse of this understanding, what was necessary was for me to put aside my thinking cap. My mind told me I was serving a less fortunate person than myself. That was the trick of the mind, not allowing me to see and feel the truth. Once I stopped those thoughts automatically, I allowed myself, my heart, to feel. I allowed myself to be the person that I was chosen to serve. And then love, compassion, and sacrifice poured out automatically. As Swami continues on the above discourse, he says, God serves. He allows you to claim that you have served. Without His will, not a single blade of grass can quiver in the breeze. Fill every moment with gratitude to the divine giver and the recipient of all gifts. That's an amazing, profound statement. In other words, every opportunity we have to be of service to anyone comes to us as a gift from God. So we must understand and believe that it is God Himself who accepts the service done with love and sacrifice. So we can see that it is not pity or sadness that should fill our heart when doing selfless service. It is gratitude for the opportunity to be an instrument in the divine hands. Thank you, dearest Swami. When we perform selfless service with an open heart, full of love, it becomes a sacred service. It becomes a sacred experience, an experience which convinces us that all beings are God's children and that God is installed in everybody. Everybody is His residence. No, to realize this is a major step towards our goal to self-realization. I guess this is what Swami meant when he said that selfless service is performed for our mental cleanup. We hear a lot about Seva, Seva to the hungry, Seva to the poor in health, Seva to children without families, all kinds of Seva. Helping all of these sisters and brothers is already a great deed, good karma. But as Swami's devotees, we need to perform this seva according to his expectations from us. Swami says that selfless service will be judged with reference to the mental attitude accompanying it. So whatever work is allotted, do it with fervor, understanding, and reverence. Swami also often says that the motive behind the service is most important. Was it saturated with love and compassion, or did ego play a part? Did we do it to show how good we are? Are we hoping that Swami will favor us in some way because of it? Or, as I mentioned earlier, we are just doing our duty as a center member and just tagging along with the rest. Swami quotes, "The explanation that appeals to Swami is that you did the seva with no taint of ego and that you derived unsurpassed bliss as a result." I know that all of us have experienced the unexplained and unbelievably joyous feeling when offering selfless service or selfless love to someone who desperately needs it. The look on their face, the feeling of gratitude that reaches you from one heart to another, it is truly, as Swami says, unsurpassed bliss, a bliss that we wish to be able to feel continuously. Another way selfless service is expressed is through our thoughts and words. We all know that both thoughts and words have power. They have power to do good and power to do harm. Swami directs us to start our day with the thought of God. He says, "What greater service can you do for yourself and others? Let the day dawn with the thought of the Almighty, the compassionate and omnipresent, all-knowing God." So prayer is service to ourselves and others, and remembering God's name while doing service is sanctifying the service we offer. Again, Swami reminds us that service does not mean just helping with hands. He repeatedly emphasizes the importance of speaking softly and sweetly, of not saying harsh words that can hurt anyone's feelings. He tells us, bodily wounds can heal by the use of medicines, but the words inflicted by the tongue can never be healed. Swami continues, one should fill the heart with compassion, always speak the truth, and dedicate the body to the welfare of society. The thoughts, words, and deeds of a person should always be sacred. The heart unpolluted by desire and anger, and the tongue not tainted by untruth. The body unblemished by acts of violence. In addition, Swami also refers to honest business as a form of seva. He tells us running a business honestly must be regarded as a form of social service and spiritual sadhana. Step by step, selfless service leads to self-realization. We may begin doing service not understanding the true power that it has and the great potential to lead us to self-realization. But if we truly pray for God's guidance, and if we truly seek to know the truth of who we are, the truth about our unity with each other, then step by step our understanding grows, our heart opens up to accept all as being part of our own self. We eventually reach the point where every thought, word, and action is full of pure intentions and saturated with love. That is certainly a way to self-realization, and therefore we are fulfilling our purpose on earth. All religions place a great emphasis on seva. Here are a few sacred words from different religions on selfless service. Kar seva. The concept of Kar seva dates back to the times of the great Sikh gurus who were keenly interested in founding and developing new towns and encouraged construction activities. Kar seva reflects the sense of selfless community service. In the Bhagavad Gita, we read, "The ignorant work for their own profit, Arjuna. The wise work for the welfare of the world, without thought for themselves." The wisdom of the Sufis. God said, "O world, serve those who serve me, and render weary those who serve you." Adi Grant. Without selfless service are no objectives fulfilled. In service lies the purest action. One who serves and seeks no reward finds union with the Lord. Such a servant alone takes the Master's guidance, as on him is divine grace, says Guru Nanak. The Bible says, "Do nothing from rivalry or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Service expresses the divinity hidden in us. It broadens our hearts, destroys narrow-mindedness, and gives delight. Service is the most efficient instrument to remove ego. It is through Baba's divine teachings, through his constant repetition of the importance of selfless service, and certainly, most of all, through his example, that we have progressed from the mere offering of seva without truly understanding its purpose to feeling the joy of selfless service in our hearts, along with the gratitude to him who allowed us to feel that joy and to grow in wisdom and awareness on our road to self-realization. In closing, I wish to express my love and gratitude to Swami for creating this beautiful group and for giving us the opportunity to share this wonderful and always needed review of selfless service, which is a great power and definite road to our self-realization. Jai Sai Ram.